Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are updating my EDC with a brand new pocket knife. So let's jump right into it. Alright, before we start, if you can just go down below, hit subscribe, like the video, and let me know what you think of the knife down below in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. So, here we are. This is the CRKT Symmetry. This is a UK legal carry knife, which means it does not have a locking mechanism in it. So if I take one of my non-UK legal carry knives, it is legal to own, just not legal to carry. This is the Kaiser Sheepdog. Now, if I were to try and break this knife, try and fold it, it cannot be folded. You have to press that little bar towards the handle. This is a liner lock, it's called. So if I can try and press that in, whilst you can see what I'm doing. So I'm pressing that little paddle in, and you can see you can now close it. This is a non-locking knife, which means if I just press down on the blade, it folds up. That is what makes it a legal UK carry knife, along with it being under 3 inches long. Okay, so I'll have the blade length in the edit down below to give you the exact measurement. But the reason why I chose this knife is because it gives me all of the satisfaction and fidget factor of the locking knife I just showed you, which means I can flip it open and just fold it closed, flip it open, fold it closed to my heart's content, which is exactly what I want. One thing I hate about UK legal carry knives is that they are usually a nail nick style knife, which I can show you here. So you can see this is a pretty standard pocket knife, and it's got a little nail nick in it. You can see it just up there. So you got to get your nail into the blade to open it up, and it's a two-handed open. So yeah, you can just press it down and it closes. So that's your standard nail nick knife, it's called. And then this one I showed you before, the Kaiser Sheepdog, is a flipper knife. So you can just put your finger there, push down, and it opens up. But again, you've got to unlock the knife to close it. With one of these, you don't have to. Super smooth action. Nice gentleman's style. It's a carbon fibre effect. It's definitely not real carbon fibre. This cost me roughly £55. And it's got this jimping on the top. You can see that. Gives you enough purchase, so you can do it right on the corner here. Or you can do it all the way on the top. It just gives you enough grip just to get your nail in, or just use the pad of your finger, and then you can flip it open like that. So it's got a deep carry pocket clip, which means when it's in your pocket, it's only showing very little. So it's not very obvious what it is in your pocket, which is obviously good. Keep it discreet. Can actually flick this open with enough power that it won't lock the blade in place. So if I can try and demonstrate that. So you can see it's not at a full flat. There we go. So it just sort of bounced back because I did it with too much force. So you gotta be careful of that. And then obviously to keep the blade secure in place whilst using it, you would just put your finger or thumb on the back so that you can't, it does fall out of position, but it's not gonna fall shut on your hand, which is important. One criticism that I've seen of this, and I do kind of agree, is that the resistance isn't very good. Like, you couldn't really do any kind of hard cutting task with this, just in case. Because if you really had to dig into something, then that pressure that you would put on the knife to keep it pressed into what you're cutting would just fold it. And it doesn't have a 90-degree stop, like I talked about with my Spyderco. So you do have to be careful. You do have to use it for lighter tasks, which is fine for me because I only use it to open boxes at work. And that is it. So we'll go down low. We'll get a nice close-up of this, try and show you the detent as best as possible. Alright, so here it is, the CRKT Symmetry. One thing I don't like about this knife, and I'll talk about it now that we're in the close-up, is the blue, to be quite honest. Blue is not my colour, and I'm definitely not a fan of this chrome anodized blue. So I do plan on getting a sander to all these blue parts and just shaving it down to bare metal, because I just think that would look better, personally. CRKT and Symmetry Rogers Design 710, and then that fine detail there is just a little, I think it's just a little logo representing the mechanism inside here. Maybe might be on ball bearings, I'm not sure. I'll put that in the edit. So you just press down and it swings closed. Make sure your fingers are nice and out of the way. So let's try and get a shot of this detent. You see just below my fingertip, you can see those two little, that one little spot there that is going into the blade. It's sort of resting against the blade, and you might be able to see it on the bottom as well, because it is on the bottom as well, but maybe not. So then if I open the knife just halfway, you can, oh there you go, now you can see both of them just there on each side of the blade. So that is the detent. So there's a little nick, a little dip inside the metal that makes up the blade. That's considered the detent, and those little balls, those little pins, rest inside the detent, but once you push it past the detent, it's just riding on smooth metal. And then click, you can see they've vanished. So that's the pins now fully resting inside the open position detent. So they've vanished away. And then if I can do that, there we go, and they're back. So that's just showing how they sit in a detent. And then click. So the bottom one's vanished, but the top one is still visible a little bit. So that is the detent, guys. That is how the mechanism works. But again, it's definitely not, it's not got a lot of resistance. You can open it with the weight of the handle. Sorry for that terrible angle there. So you can open it with the weight of the handle. Definitely not the most safe and secure knife to use, but I haven't hurt myself on it yet. I have worse luck with kitchen knives than I do with my pocket knives. Case in point, you might remember this from another video, but it's healing now. So yes, my only real down point for this one, in my personal opinion, is the blue. And it's scuffed up a little bit as well. You can see that some of the edges of the anodization on the outside here, looking a little bit thin. And then I accidentally sanded off a piece of the colouring on the tip here on both sides. I use an electric sander, the Worksharp Ken Onion edition, to sharpen my pocket knives. So it's wicked sharp now. It was pretty sharp out the box, but it definitely needed a bit of love and care. So it's wicked sharp now, but unfortunately, because the Worksharp Ken Onion sharpener is a little bit aggressive, because it's a motorized sander, you can, if you're not careful, take a bit of colour off your handle. So that's what happened there. So let's jump back up top, give you some pros and cons and a conclusion, and we'll leave it at that. Alright guys, so the pros are the flipper action. Beautiful, love it. One-handed opening, super easy. You can keep holding what it is that you're trying to cut, make the cut, close it up, put it back in your pocket, and then carry on doing what you're doing with whatever it is that you're opening. Bag, box, tape, whatever. And that is why I bought this knife. The reason why I wouldn't have bought this knife is the blue. Like I said in the down low, I'm not a fan of blue knives, not a fan of blue in general. It's one of the main reasons why I wouldn't buy a knife. I know you're probably thinking, well, what about your other knife that's also blue? Well, this is a pretty special knife to me. I bought it in Canada when I was over there seeing my brother. And ever since I first saw this knife online on a YouTube video from a company called Blade HQ, which are a American blade knife shop company. So I was like, oh, that just looks so nice. And it's got the flipper tab and it's so smooth. You can hear it. That's why I bought it. And the one thing I hate about it is still the blue. So this video is not about the Kaiser Sheepdog. You can check that out another time. Maybe I'll do a video of all my knives. Let me know down low if that is something that you're interested in. This has been the CRKT pros, the flipper, the super easy functionality, the one-handed functionality. The cons is the blue. Simple as that. If you're looking for a one-handed opening knife that you can legally carry in the UK and you don't mind blue, cannot recommend it enough. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.